And what in heaven's name brought you to Casablanca?
My health. I came to Casablanca for the waters.
The waters? What waters? We're in the desert.
I was misinformed.
He taught me, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer.
The ability to speak does not make you intelligent.
You're tearing me apart!
What?
You say one thing, he says another, and everybody changes back again!
Top news stories of the week. Time to find out once again with Megan Olson and News of the Week on The Al Travis Show.
Love having her on the program. She is Megan's with News and Review. Megan, before we get started, do you mind if I take a couple of seconds to wrap up a story we did yesterday in the same hour? Is that all right?
Absolutely.
Long story short, I spent the weekend in an abbey in South Dakota, which I know. No one since The Sound of Music has actually stayed in an abbey, but I did. Family reunion thing. And I go to pay the cousin, Julie, let's just say Julie Smith, from Venmo. And I go Julie Smith at Venmo, whatever the thing is, but I don't notice her middle name is Julie M. Smith. So I just send the money to Julie Smith. And the Julie Smith comes up and says, I didn't get your payment. I met him on a Friday night, didn't get your payment. I said, well, it's sent. Venmo said it was sent. And then she goes, well, was it to Julie M. Smith? I'm like, ah, crap. What do I do? So I get online. My wife's a little more than upset. I sent Julie, the real Julie, the right $171. But I got another Julie out there with $171 in my box. So I go online and on the Venmo app and I request $171 payment from her. I'm requesting it. But what do you know, when I do that, I get a thing from Venmo saying, you sent her another $171. Like, now the wife is really not happy. So I said, no, look, 171, request, payment. Another $171 went out the tubes. My wife says, stop, just stop. And for about 3 hours, I'm online through Venmo trying to figure out how to get anything taken back. They say once the money's gone, all you can do is request it back. I said, I did that, but you hit request, another page comes, hit request, then payment. It only remembers the payment part. Long story, Venmo's got to fix it. Anyway, so I tell this story yesterday. I'm madder than a hornet. I'm out $525 to some person I don't know. They're not returning the text through Venmo saying, hey, I messed up. Would you mind sending me my money back? Just ghosting me. You can only get online help, which is a computer crap thing. God, I hate your generation. Can't talk to a human. So now the end of the story yesterday, I get off the air, and my job is to see what can I do. I'm $525 out. Got on Venmo's helpline thing, which gives you through the computer call thing, and literally somewhere says, ask for an agent when you're in there. So through the chat box, I asked for a real agent. I never talked to a human, by the way. But after about 5 minutes, it said, hello on the chat box. Guy says, I'm sorry, a little slow, be right with you. Never answered me. I don't know why I think it's a guy, could have been a gal. But in about 5 minutes time, again, I'm just sitting there getting madder and madder and madder. All of a sudden, kabing, $171 back in your account from Venmo. Kabing, the second one. Kabing, all three of those transactions. Never spoke to the person, just said what I had done on my texted. All three of them came back. Venmo, I'm mad at you. Venmo, I love you. This is where we're at. I don't know how to do. People, be careful.
I'm just going to say, Al, I'm not quite sure how you did that, because if you're sending money to someone you've never sent money to before, it typically has you confirm the last four of their phone number.
It tried that crap. And okay, so you got to imagine there's like 65 people. I don't know any of them. And Julie Smith comes up and I owe her money. And at the same time, everybody's trying to do the Venmo thing and the thing. I don't know her phone number. This is my wife's second cousin from someplace I don't know. I don't have her number. But it's the pressure. People go, yeah, I'm sending it. I said, okay, everybody else sent it to Julie Smith. So I hit send. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you did it 3 times then.
Well, because when you hit request back, right? There's things you can request people.
Yeah, if you're sending money though, it'll show your bank at the bottom. So if your bank information was like sitting there, then you know you're sending money versus requesting it. Because requesting it is just,
I don't like any people your age anymore. You were the last one I liked of your age. I don't want any more. I don't need to explain this, okay?
I think maybe you should delete your Venmo. Might be a smart move.
I'm this close. I don't like it at all. Thank you. Just so, because I didn't want people, I left it with that. I was so mad at
You
Venmo
left it
yesterday.
hanging yesterday.
And,
had to close the loop.
Yeah, so now I don't know how much time I took off your time. We'll talk. So anyway, that's done. They did give me my money back, and I never actually spoken to a person. Somebody was hand typing me, and then I trust you, and they just put it all back. So happy there.
Well, there
How are
you
you?
go. Good resolution.
Oh, God, just 3 days of absolute frustration. I got, an ulcer now. I hate it.
Hopefully
go
that
ahead.
doesn't continue on the show. I know last week we talked just about the Charlie Kirk assassination
Yep.
and, broadly about our current political climate. So we didn't really get a chance to talk about Walz now running for governor again and everything that comes with it, looking at 2026 being a really key election year.
You're not shocked, are you? I mean, we spent there. Is he not? Is he not? At some point, I think I was just not even, okay, he's in now. He was one of the two choices. He had worn out my welcome as far as caring too much. Is that wrong? I mean, how many times he said, I'll let you know in a week?
Yeah, I mean, I fully expected it. What I didn't expect is maybe some of the new polling results coming out saying that his approval is tanking a little bit. There was a real clear polling thing that came out that put him up against all the Republican candidates. He sits at about 46 or 47, depending on if he's against Jensen or Robbins. Not as strong of an outcome as I expected, but I think he is a master fundraiser. He's definitely got the money. Money does win elections. I think he's positioned really well for 2026, but he's not really directly addressing the fraud issues, which I think will be, number one, number two, top of people's minds come the fall of 2026. He's leaving that alone. He's talked about tariffs. He's talked about guns, all the other issues kind of skirting around all the fraud that is unfolding.
You say well positioned. I can't think of a guy in a worse position other than money, and money does make a difference. I'll give you that. But when you look at the fraud and the number of fraud things, even the day that they're going to talk to one of the guys at a meeting, a conference meeting, they fired the first guy and all of this. They fired him that morning so he doesn't come up and talk about the fraud stuff at the Capitol. Even that looked ishy on the day that he did, and then he comes out and you get me hired in 2026. I'm going after fraud. I don't know if anybody believes it. Fraud's huge. I think that plus the fact Minnesota's never did a three-peat. I think people just get to a point that they're there. I think he is quote unquote ripe for the pickings if the Republicans put the right candidate up. That will be the interesting thing.
Yeah.
You're going to get outspent.
And I should say, it's not like he's ignored it completely. 45 minutes before the House, Oversight and Fraud Committee meeting last week, 45 minutes before that, he did come out and say, executive order, we're establishing Inspector General office, all this stuff, policies that were on the table this spring that didn't make it through because he didn't support them. And now he's backtracking 45 minutes before this meeting saying, nope, we're going to do this actually now. So I think a lot of people are seeing right through it.
Well, and I don't know how much people get into the weeds of that. I do because Senator Gustafson was on this program. She was one of the authors of that bill, and it was an independent auditor. They wanted not to have it under the governor, not under anybody else. This was strictly independent. And the governor squashed that, did not let the House vote on that thing. Now he comes out with his, see, I'm with you now.
But his is a council. It's a council of people.
Yeah, and it reports to a governor. It is an independent. And that, if people fall for that gimmick, you might as well just keep the fraud going because right now, no one cares enough to say anything, and the fraud is rampant. I find it going to be really hard for this cat. You can spend money, but it doesn't take much to have people say how much was stolen out of your pocket.
The housing stabilization fraud is the most recent one that we've discussed on the show a number of times. 8 people have already been charged as part of that. They billed Medicare about $8 million in services. And this was a program that was supposed to cost $2.6 million annually. But in 2021, it paid out over $21 million in claims.
And this U.S. attorney said he's not sure if every bit of it isn't fraud. Like 99% of it was all fraud, that there isn't anybody getting helped. And it will be interesting to see how the governor can position himself saying, well, how would I know? How would my people know? You're writing the checks. You're asking for that extra $17 billion, whatever it was we needed to help the poor people. It sure looks like it just went to a slush fund for everybody who had any inkling of stealing from us.
It's really
That's what it felt
unfortunate
like.
for the people that do need it the most.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, other things he's got on his mind, and will he pull it off or not, is a special session. I got to think we got to talk about that. But I got to the break first because I talked too much about Venmo and stuff. Yeah. Megan's News and Review, more right after this.
Hey, Brian, what do you call a lobbyist with a sense of humor?
Me?
Close. Momentum advocacy.
We help clients get real results at the Capitol with strategy, relationships, and just enough charm to make it fun.
From policy wins to media spots, we've got your back.
Nonprofits, businesses, coalitions, we've helped them all.
And we do it with nearly 90 years of combined experience.
Momentum advocacy.
As always, your friends at the Capitol. Learn more about our team at momentum-advocacy.com.
Tired of one-sided media and divisive noise drowning out your conservative values? Take back the conversation with Braver Angels. Join a grassroots movement to restore civility and find common ground without compromising your principles. As a conservative, your voice matters. Share your perspective on issues like immigration and public health in Red Blue workshops and help rebuild trust in our great nation. Be a leader in depolarizing America. Sign up for free at mn.braverangels.org. Braver Angels, where conservatives, liberals, and independents unite for a stronger republic.
It's nice to know a guy that knows a guy. Al Travis.
It's Megan's News and Review on the Al Travis Show. Love having her on. So your thoughts? You see a special session in our future with all that's going on?
I am not quite sure that I do. And I think part of that is because we had this, Senate work group to discuss these issues preemptively before maybe moving into a special session. And even that small group, so we're parceling out about a dozen people from the entire legislature, that small group could not come to a consensus on anything other than tougher penalties for people who impersonate police officers, given the political assassination.
That was a Hoffman bill, I believe. I think the interesting thing here is I think the world is politicians are getting the feeling that people are tired of the showmanship. What I mean by that is if you're going to seriously go after some gun legislation, both sides, the Democrats want the guns out, Republicans want mental health, whatever, and you're just showing up to show up because no one has the votes, stop playing me like a fiddle. I think we're getting tired of that stuff. We're saying no. You give us what we want or just stop playing around. I think people are tired of it.
Really, the reality is the Democrats want an all-out ban on assault rifles. They don't really want to stray from that. Republicans don't want that at all. Where's the compromise? There is there's a big gap there between, like, how do you compromise on an outright ban? And I am just not quite sure that there is anything that they could be getting done. And you're right. I mean, Their
Well,
House is tied. We had a special election last week. House is tied now, back again, 67-67. It's taxpayer dollars when they come back for these, special additional sessions. They get their per diem and all that.
No.
I don't see a path forward on it, and I don't think it's going to happen.
See, and neither do I. One thing that, I think the Hoffman bill about impersonating a police officer, hard to argue. Go ahead. Lengthen the imprisonment or whatever you get for that. I don't see anyone arguing it. But the other one was the one that fell out of the omnibus bill, the binary trigger thing. One of the senators come on and said, "Oh, we can get rid of that. Everybody, we've had that passed once already. Everyone should agree on that." I said, it does nothing for the things that actually happened in the state of Minnesota in the last year.
Well,
now you're just showman.
I do applaud some of those lawmakers who have pointed that out. They've said, we know that, and I can't remember who it was, but I am grateful that they recognize that they know that no matter what they legislate, there's still going to be workarounds. There's still going to be crazy people. Bad things are still going to happen, unfortunately. Policy is not, or legislating. You can't legislate this away. That's just the reality at the end of the day.
Crazy is what crazy does. Let me ask you this, though. I thought it was, Charlie Kirk, like Charlie Kirk, don't get me wrong. I watched most of his videos. By accident, I wasn't who he's going after. I was stunned 3,000 some people showed up in Utah, young people to watch that, after the assassination. But I'll tell you what, a couple thousand people at the University of Minnesota going last night, and Charlie Kirk wasn't there, but to honor the guy, were you or U of M-er, shocked by those numbers?
I wouldn't say shocked. I mean, the tickets were free. They sold, I say that in air quotes. They sold unlimited tickets, and it was kind of a first come first serve thing. So I guess I am surprised that all the people that, bought these tickets decided to show up. I know there was chatter online about the opposition saying, "We'll buy up all the tickets," and then it comes out they're unlimited tickets. So it really is just first come first serve. But yeah, about 1,500 people showed up. There were another 100 that were outside protesting the event. Michael Knowles was the one who kind of chaired it. There were two chairs on stage. He was sitting in one, and then they left one open for Charlie, since he was obviously supposed to be the original speaker.
And that was supposed to be Charlie interviewing Knowles, so he just did it solo. So that's why they did that. This is what it would have looked like, sort of thing. I don't know how. I don't have any clue then how Knowles does an interview, if you will, for 2 hours on stage. I don't know how that. I know they showed some highlights. I don't know what he did for 2 hours.
I think they really talked about Charlie's legacy and the importance of, open dialogue and all that. What I thought was interesting, though, and a lot of the reporting coming out of last night, which is when this event happened, interviewing students and kind of their take on everything. And you've got the conservatives that are fearful to speak, fearful to have those conversations. And then you have the other side of the LGBTQ side, the on the left, that are also fearful for the repercussions from the right. So there is a lot of fear right now. I've heard of some classes that were canceled after Charlie Kirk at the University of Minnesota after Charlie Kirk was assassinated. It's a tricky situation, but I think the only thing that universities can do in the wake of all of this is leave the door open for discussion, and do not feed into fear, and do not, pick a side. Yeah. But make sure the open dialogue is happening in the classroom and outside of the classroom.
Let me ask you this feeling, or whatever it is, the momentum, that the turning point, if you will, Turning Point USA, that's going on. Do you think this has longevity to it, or is this a blip in the radar, and by Christmas everyone will have pretty much moved back?
I hope in my heart of hearts that it's not a blip in the radar. I mean, we've seen kind of this enlightenment of folks going back to Christianity or coming to Christianity for the first time. You see a lot of people, with the hashtag #WeAreCharlieKirk, that are pledging to, do better and having those tough conversations with people. And you're seeing also a lot of people on the left and people on the right who are exposing sounds like a bad word, but showing Charlie's true heart in all of this, and really wanting to foster those relationships and have tough conversations to be a better person. So I hope it sticks, but
all right.
Humanity.
We'll wait and see, and we'll comment on it, but I got to go. Appreciate you being here, Megan.
We'll be back next week talking about the top Minnesota news stories of the week on the Al Travis Show with Megan's News in Review.
Achieving your financial goals requires individual planning